Okay, good morning, everybody. I'll get started, and I'll just keep my eye on the new people rolling in. My name is Kirsten Sankirko. I'm the project director for the Regional Centers for Workforce Transformation. My email there, ksankirko@newyorkalliance.org, or you could also email info@workforcetransformation.org. I'd like to go over a few housekeeping details. I'm not sure if everybody has heard, along with me and the news, that Zoom has presented some issues recently, some security issues. So I will be watching cautiously, and hopefully nothing will happen. If something does happen, I'll probably end the meeting abruptly. Also, I want to let you know that just in case you're worried about it, you could always call in on the phone and not have audio, video capacity, sorry, not audio capacity. So please feel free to do that if you're feeling cautious about that. The meetings will be transcribed, hopefully automatically for me by Zoom. There's a great feature where it records everything that's being said and written in the comment box. But I'd like this mostly to be an opportunity for you all to connect with us, to ask questions, to tell us what you need. And I'd like to try to come about that in an organized fashion if possible. So I have muted all of your lines. It's possible that you are able to unmute yourself when you want to talk. But if you could kindly just raise your hand by typing into the chat box. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Zoom, if you scroll to the bottom or to the top of your screen, you'll see a black bar. It depends on your screen and your view. There will be a box that says chat, or there's also a box that says more, and it has 3 dots on it. Looks like somebody just wrote something in, so that was very helpful because it alerted the box and they wrote test. So if everybody, awesome, you got the hang of it already. When you have a question, please type your question into that chat box and I'll go through them one at a time. They will also be recorded. If you could please do me a favor, if you are able to, and adjust the name on your screen. If you can, include the organization that you are working for or affiliated with. That will help us to get back in touch with you with a response to your question if needed. We are planning on having 4 meetings like this in the next 2 weeks. Today at 10, on Thursday in the afternoon, again on Tuesday and Thursday of next week. I will unmute you if you'd like to chit-chat a little bit more about your question or ask a follow-up question. So with that, I'm going to move to my next slide, which says, did you get the survey? So we sent a survey out on Friday, and it probably came to you from an email that's on the screen, info@workforcetransformation.org. You may have gotten that email a second time today, only this time it was from myself, K Sankirko at newyorkalliance.org. If you did not get that survey, could you please check your spam boxes? It was our first email from a new constant contact email. We're hoping that the regional centers can be a support to you all during this difficult time. And we've shifted our gears completely, but we also need your feedback to make sure we're shifting our gears appropriately. Some of the questions, do you have questions? So are you getting information, important information that pertains to you and the role that you have in our field? What types of staff development or training needs do you have? And what can we do to assist DSPs and frontline supervisors working on the front line? It's super important for us to know specifically about what you would like and what you would need. Oftentimes when we ask questions, we don't get a specific response. Keep up the good work is always a good response. Knows we're going in the right direction. But I would like to take a minute to remind you that this is a unique opportunity. The regional centers have been funded for 5 years. If we had been seeking this funding during this time, we wouldn't have gotten the funding. We've also been given permission to adjust our supports to what you need now, similar to the exceptions or abbreviated regulations that have been coming out from OPWDD. So we can do things a little bit differently now, and we can support you. We're doing a lot currently, but we want to know if we're on the right track, and we want to know if you need more from us. So I'd like to take a minute to allow you an opportunity to type in a few questions. Tell us some things that are on your mind, some questions that you have. If you don't have any questions, I'll go ahead and I'll show you some new things that we've been up to. One awesome thing that is available to all of you at this moment are resources from the New York Alliance, where we are posting all sorts of resources for you, for everyone, members and non-members. So it's a really important time to utilize those free resources so that you can stay informed, but also to see what types of things that the New York Alliance does. I see some more questions, so I'm excited. I'm going to go over to the questions. Is there a possibility to share what types of abbreviated training other agencies are creating? That's a great question. I would love to have people tell us what they're doing. We've done a little bit of work to try to gather that information, one of which was the survey. Another is by directly reaching out to providers. And we are currently working to build an online training platform on this website. It will be focused primarily on those abbreviated trainings that you all need now. And ultimately, they will have the full-length versions of those trainings as well for our long-term plan when we can get back to some sense of normalcy. So we'd love for you all to share what you're doing for abbreviated trainings. Please email me or reach out to us in some way on our contact page on our website. Let us know what abbreviated trainings you need if you haven't yet thought about it. Has anyone used the abbreviated AMAP class? I know SUS used it this week. They just learned about it the day they had a class scheduled, so they quickly shifted gears. I haven't heard any feedback yet. Another great question. If anybody has tried it, please type your comments into the chat line. Are any agencies using a virtual training for SKIP-R? All of which we are working on. If you have already started working on it, please let us know. One of the ways we have shifted our resources is to utilize the regional leads to actually build that curricula. So a few weeks ago, or maybe even over the past couple of months, we've been connecting with you about a project that we have with the high school BOCES in New York State. We have shifted gears to building this LMS system on our website. Again, it will be focused primarily on abbreviated trainings. So let us know what urgent trainings you need to support your staff with now, and we can get started right away to help you by building that curricula for you. We could host an online DSP orientation for your staff. We can be the trainers since you all are shorthanded. Can you expand the AMAP? I'm not exactly sure what that question means, Mary. Can you clarify your question? What does AMAP stand for? Who can answer that golden question? Medication of administration, something, something.
And practicum, maybe?
Oh. Jen Voigt's nodding her head. She thinks you're onto something.
So I'm from Archivon and Daga, and we are going to be using the abbreviated AMAP training. And thank you very much for sharing that. That was a big help.
You're welcome.
In terms of Skip, because we haven't gone to any live training yet, one of the things we're using a lot, and I see Danette's also from ARCA Genesee Orleans here, we're using a lot of Relias trainings. And actually one of the things I borrowed from Danette was Relias has some great positive approaches to supporting behavior, something like that. There's parts 1, 2, 3, and 4, including ABCs, reinforcement, how to teach functional skills, how to teach people with disabilities. I think part 4 is on behavior support plans. So I'm using that online training right now to get staff ready for when we do figure out how we're going to try to do the live part. And so right now we're looking at who you would train in terms of new staff for people who have behavior support plans where we have to train on technique. So
seems like that's the next class or the next course or training that keeps coming up after AMAP. So I think we'll put that on our list of to-dos next.
So the abbreviated regulations say you have 120 days to get your staff trained formally. So I think how it reads is, use your positive behavior support trainings however you can. And like Kirsten said, we are working on positive behavior supports actually starting yesterday. So just keep that in mind. No physical interventions will be taught of any kind in this way. But that is how the regulations are stated currently, 120 days after you teach them positive behavior supports or something to that effect.
On our last call, we had a couple questions. Jen responded perfectly. Someone said, will it be considered that the staff are certified? So no, we wouldn't consider your staff certified when you train them in the abbreviated trainings. You'd circle back around within that 120 days, like Jen said, to get them the additional features of the training that they need in order to consider them certified. We're going to call them ready to work for now, but not completely certified. The other thing that folks asked on the last call was if you're watching a Zoom meeting or if you're watching something on YouTube, is it considered billable? And unfortunately, the answer to that question is probably no, unless it's specifically stated in the life plan that that's how we're going to accomplish the goal. So if the goal is about community, right? If it's about exploring opportunities like exercising or yoga or social rooms or that type of thing, it wouldn't suffice to do that online. We are reaching out to OPWDD to get some exceptions. I would think, just like with the abbreviated trainings, there will be some exceptions to the billing and the rules, but they haven't gotten there quite yet. So we're going to push a little bit from our end to get a response about billable services. Seems like we're doing a lot of services, but according to the regulations and the life plan, I don't think anybody included COVID-19 in their life plans. Looks like we have an update to the acronym AMAP. AMC says it's abbreviated medication administration course or personnel. We all know what it is. Any other things you're doing that you want to share or questions you want to ask folks who are on the line? It's a unique opportunity to have folks from across the state together sharing what's going on in your neck of the woods, any challenges that you might be experiencing. Anybody want to unmute themselves and offer? Someone said, so with Skip R, if you do physical intervention, what happens? Well, you're not going to do the physical intervention piece immediately, but there are programs that need that, and so that's the guidance that we're seeking right now. If it's written in the plans that certain interventions must be used, but you're training new staff and onboarding new staff, and you can't practice those skip interventions, what do you do? What's the right response?
Kirsten, I'm just want to jump in and say, I would say utilize your senior staff. You do not want to put new hires who haven't gone through the full course alone with someone who's going to require physical interventions. Utilize your senior staff as much as you can, because they are no way, shape, or form allowed to use physical interventions without being certified. Positive behavior supports work. They work well. We know this. But as far as physical interventions go, can only be used by a staff who's gone through that and has had that certification.
Arc of GO, is that Genesee Orleans, put a Relias online training agenda for all courses for new staff, and they're willing to share. It takes about 24 hours. That's awesome. Please do share. Lots of folks are using Relias. Lots of people are using Avero, College of Direct Support. They all have great orientation trainings that you can utilize. Unfortunately, not all organizations can afford to purchase them. So that's why the regional centers is working towards building capacity in that direction for those providers who may not be able to provide it, and for those providers who just appreciate our resources and our tools. So Jen wants to remind us that we do have a couple of projects that we're doing. One of which is a pen pal project. We also have a variety of other projects, so I'll just take some time to talk about those while you think about questions or things that you might want to say and share. I have to say before I do that, there was a great webinar last week from the New York Alliance. It wasn't the happiest of webinars, I have to admit, but 3 providers came online and shared their experiences thus far with the virus and how it has impacted their staff and the people that they are supporting. It's a really informational webinar that you should take an hour to connect in with. It'll change your perspective a little bit about what's happening, especially if you're living in a rural area like me and you don't live in the city where they're experiencing the thick of things. But really sharing your experiences and the challenges as your organizations are being impacted is just so helpful to other providers who may not have yet been hit with circumstances pertaining to the virus. So the Pen Pal project is something that started in Region 2. Jen, I'm not sure if that's something you want to talk about, or did you want me to talk about it?
I'll say a little bit really quick. It really, that wasn't a newish project yet that we were trying to get off the ground, and we had some good participation, and then trying to kind of pilot it and rework how we structured it so that way it would be a little better, and then kind of all of this happened. So now we're taking a new approach, but the little bits that we've talked about it with other regions, it sounds like there may be an interest. So if maybe you have some of the people that you support that are really missing out from those social interactions, and they would really like to have a pen pal. This is something that we're talking about bringing more across the board and not just in Region 2. But in Region 2, I was just trying to open Venngage so I'd have it as a guide to help me talk through it really quick. We are sending out letters this week to anyone who is currently in the project. And I know there's someone from Region 2 on, so Jess is on, so I want to make sure I mention this. So the letters will go out that will just say, let me pull it up here quick, that basically we know that everybody has a different comfort level right now with mail and online, virtual, all of these different methods that we could connect. So we want to be thoughtful of all of those. So we want to offer options that if we have pen pals who are already in the program who are would like to connect virtually so that they're not getting that mail and that, you know, that physical stuff they have to touch and be careful of once they bring it inside their residence, we can do that. Or we are also opening it up that if new people want to join, because there are some who maybe aren't interested anymore. But really, I'm just sending out this letter to remind people that that are in the program now, they have a pen pal. This is the pen pal's name. Don't forget, just because with all this going on, it might not be on the forefront, what their mailing address is. And then while we are all at home practicing social distancing, why not connect with your pen pals? Contact me if anybody is interested in email or video instead of mail. So trying to use that avenue as well. And then let's see, I think there was one other thing. Let's see. Oh, yes, checking in with the group and everyone that is interested in this. Maybe not everybody has stationery or stamps or a way to get to the post office, and trying to break down those barriers. So we're kind of like still piloting, but this is, if you're interested in this, we could see what we could do.
Something else that we're working on is as I mentioned earlier, the LMS system and collecting all of the regional center presentations that have been done over the past 4 or 5 years in one spot so that we can make them available for you all to utilize. We also have one of our leads in Region 4 working on activities. So we've heard that staff may be running short on ideas, or maybe they're just stuck in a rut and they're having hard time thinking outside of the box. We'll be sending out weekly emails from each of the regions with some ideas that you can share with your staff in the houses. Similar to a meeting in the box, obviously we're not going to send you a box of supplies or a box of material, but we'll write it all down on paper, what exactly you need for the activity, and some instructions if that's applicable. We've also purchased an online app called Kahoot. It might be something that your organizations want to look into. It's a way of having fun online. You can make them learning opportunities, or you can make them just plain fun. I think we could all use a bit of humor and laughter during this time just to distract us from some of the things that we might be upset about. So you should be seeing some emails. We're also going to try to be present in every region. We've asked each region to host something twice a month. That hasn't gotten started yet, so you're not missing anything if you haven't seen a meeting from your region lead yet. We're working on it. As you might know, some of our leads are, still working on the front line, supporting frontline supervisors and DSPs, or working in the training department, supporting the development of those DSPs and onboarding. So you may not see some of the leads as actively as you have in the past, but we're working together as a team to sort of make up where those leads can't pick up. So if one region is unable to host a meeting, we'll be sure to host a meeting for them. And we will be working to include you in the meetings that are happening across the state. If you can't participate in a meeting in your region, you can connect with us via our calendar on our website and sign up for a meeting. We're going to be alongside with looking at the mandated trainings and the abbreviated trainings. We're going to be looking for resources of professionals in the field who can offer things like grief counseling online. We know there are a number of organizations who are already working towards that goal, and we'll be sharing the resources that they have provided. NADSP has offered a variety of free resources. If you have ideas, or if you know somebody who's a professional in an area. Oh, I remember what it was, and I can't see the question, but someone asked, does anybody have a training on cleaning for the coronavirus, COVID-19? Anybody know of a great video on washing hands? Does anybody have any resources for cleaning with regards to the COVID-19? We're going to look for it too, but please share. QCP uses LITMOS online trainings, and there's a coronavirus training on there, and I can look into sharing it if possible. Awesome. There are lots of resources on the NADSP website page, and they're also making things available for free. I know John Raphael just put a webinar out on grief that I saw.
We've been sharing NADSP's toolkit for DSPs on our Facebook page too. So if you hop over to Facebook, we often share those resources there as well. Today I just posted, there's a free resource from the state. It's called Headspace. Let me just pop it up. So it's a company called Headspace, and it's providing New Yorkers with free meditation, meditation and mindfulness resources. And so that's going out, and I just posted that on our Facebook page today. And if you go to headspace.com/New York, you can find all kinds of stuff there on mindfulness.
Jackie Phillips from the Arc of Rockland is saying that the CDC and New York State Department of Health has cleaning tips posted on their websites. So please do connect with us on Facebook, subscribe to our website. We're also on Instagram, and we're trying to share as many resources as we gather around the way, as also to celebrate stories that are happening, great things that are thanking DSPs for their work.
Anybody have any good stories, success stories?
We have been doing a Clinton County ARC. We've been doing, oh, sorry, I have some,
okay.
Not some very respectful coworkers today.
That's awesome.
We've been doing a lot of virtual Zoom meetups with people. We've been doing the virtual morning brew where everyone gets together, and then doing a virtual dance party.
Oh, nice.
And we're going to be doing a virtual bingo next week as well.
Oh, that's so great. So within folks from your houses are signing in, or staff, or who? Everybody?
Yeah, everybody. So everybody's kind of like tuning in and all kind of coming together. So it's been really great.
That's awesome. I love that idea.
So there's also, I'm trying to work on it right now. There's an app called Trivia Maker. It's free.
Yes.
Yeah, and so I'm trying to test that out to see if we can do a Zoom call with the Trivia Maker.
Oh, great. Good idea.
So.
Jess, you use the Trivia Maker for your bingo?
I didn't. I was thinking about it because I saw that. But right now I have like the, the roll, like the bingo, like the cage, and then we're just dispersing. We're scanning bingo cards to houses.
Oh, that's fun.
So I had to find some. I had to go online to like a bingo card generator because I was nervous that sending people bingo cards, everyone was going to call out bingo at the same time. But so I don't know. I'm still trying to work through it. But I did see that there was an option on the Trivia Maker for like a bingo style game.
Oh, that's great. Great resource. We'll be sure to share that with everybody. Does anybody have any links for the Special Olympic training videos?
Oh, I love that question. What a great time to train for some Olympics.
Yeah, we will keep a lookout for that. So anything you all type in, we will print up and follow up on and make sure that we get back out to you. We'll have your email addresses, I believe, for those of you who logged in on the computer, but it'll be harder for those of you who called in on the phone. So we'll be sure to share those responses publicly the best that we can, but also please, look for updates from your specific region lead, and we'll ask them to include our answers as well, or just reach out directly to us with the question if you haven't heard anything back from us. Who can I send the coronavirus online training to in order to get it out to everybody? You could send it to me, Kay Sancurco at NewYorkAlliance.org, or info@workforcetransformation.org. If it's too large to share, you can share it in Google or Dropbox. So again, Jen, refresh my memory, we'll be back at 1 o'clock on Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday, 1 o'clock, same place.
Danceability is holding free Facebook Live classes for people. That's awesome.
Wait, what was that?
Danceability.
Free Facebook Live classes. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, great.
Danceability.
So we'll keep an eye out for these resources and then try to share them publicly. So if you're lonely, if you're bored, if you're scared, if you just need social interactions, please feel free to join us next week. We'll be doing these again the following week on Tuesday and Thursday. And if it's something people enjoy and we have enough people who sign in, we'll continue to do them just to offer some space for you all to gather, to socially distance yourselves, and to share ideas. But we'd love to hear next time about what you all are doing, some creative ideas like we've shared today of things that help us get through this difficult time. So thank you for joining us today. Thank you for this short time together. I hope to see you again later this week or next week. Please be safe, stay in touch, and don't forget to tell us what you need, because we can provide most of it for free, and now's the time to take advantage of free opportunities. We're here for you. Be well. Take care, everybody.
Thanks, Kristen. Bye.
See you later, all.